Okay, today it's already like probably 6 o'clock on a Thursday, May maybe a 5th or 6th. Today we're going to try to get some insulation here so we can fire this up and bake. All right, so this is going to be 32. So 32 by, shit, I don't remember. I'll have to watch my video. 32 by, I think it was 68. Yep, 32 by 68. Remember those numbers. Right, here's our first attempt that already needs to get some rework. So intent was to put these panels and to screw from underneath a like 1 inch high, leaving a 3/4 inch space, and then that would be the bottom of the kiln, and then my panels would slide down the wall and tuck behind there to keep it tucked in. But it did not come out square, so it does not fit in the bottom of the kiln because it's square. So plan B, take these things off, make a frame, screw it together, square it up, and then put the foam on it. Set that up. Okay, we got frame together, we got cross bracing. Let's just check squareness. We got a little bit of unsquareness, but this thing here also wiggles quite a bit. It's not that stiff. So we're going to call it good enough for tonight. Okay, we have the 3 pieces screwed on, and it looks somewhat square. So let's go throw it in and see what happens. Okay, so yes, when it is square, it fits much better. I will take those braces out now that I have the foam board. I also might put a few more screws in to keep it square, but that fits down nice. And now the thought is that the back wall will slide down and be locked in place there, and I might make like the back wall 2 pieces for reasons that you should think about why I might want to do that. And if I did that, there would be a gap, and then the spacing will allow me to do an overlap on that. The end pieces will be 1 piece because they're smaller, but I'm thinking on the front and back I might do that technique, because that all right, we've pondered a couple times and changed our mind a few times, but this is what I'm thinking currently. We got the bottom, and we got that strip on along the bottom so that the pieces can sit. They kind of come down and sit in. I can double them if I need to get layers. And I'm thinking if I attach a strip such as that into the verticals, then I can't move that because the board will fall, it's not attached. But my thought was that I would put the foam in, let's see if this works, and it would go right underneath, and then I could put a pin, where's my finger here? I could put a pin, drop it through there, and it would hold the foam against here, so I could be able to secure it. It'd be underneath, and more importantly, I need to put a foam lid. So now this would give me something to rest my lid on. If I had that lip all the way around, that would take the weight of the lid, which is only going to be this foam board, so it's not going to be much, but otherwise I'd have to screw some wood onto here to put the foam on. Then after a time it's going to be pulling, so I'd have to reinforce it somehow. So this might even be better, because then the foam slides underneath, pin it. I got my lid that rests on top. Now the question is, how high do I make this? So that's a 2-foot panel. That was my original. See, that's 2 foot. I can't zoom with one hand. All right, but this, I think, on the short side, I think we can get it to be probably like 28 inches instead of 24. We put the lip at 28 maybe, so then the foam would be 27, so I'd have a height of 27, and the foam would sit on top of that. All right, after further review on the field, this is what we're thinking. I made this 68 inches long, 1.25 inch depth, 3/4 inch thick. I put a little bit of paneling. I think that's 1.5 inches on the back. And this is 2-foot section of foam board. And I need 2 hands to do this. I still need 1 hand to hold this here, but that's what it's looking like. It's gonna run there, and the foam panel is going to slide underneath, and then I can put a pin from the top somehow to hold it. And that little bit of paneling in the back gives it an air thing, so the air is not going to be leaking out the back. And I think what changed is I'm going to leave this, make this 2 foot instead of 26 inches. I'll make it 24 inches because the paneling comes in 4 foot by 8 foot sections. So if I make it 26, then I have a 22 cutoff, and then I gotta piece it somewhere else. So I think we're just gonna keep it at 24. All right, I gotta screw this in. Here we go. Let's pull this out. Okay, so that's screwed in, and now we would slide in the panel. There we go. And push in. Voila. I'm not quite sure about the corners yet, but I do have that piece there. I think I'm gonna cut it to 68 3/4 and see if we can't put it in. Here goes the board. We slide it in, push it underneath, and it stays in place. I think we're gonna do the same thing on the back wall. We'll make another one of these. I gotta put some block in there because they're 3/4 instead of 1.5 inches, and then we'll put that one in. All right, so these are like lots of good insights. So now I'm gonna do the back piece, but this is gonna be, this piece has to sit on top. But take a look over here, you know, that flush surface. Maybe I would have that little paneling bit come up higher in the back to give it a little bit more of an airlock. I think I'll extend this paneling up 3/4 inch. So if there is air coming up here, it won't just go through here, it will have to go up. So for the back one, I think that's what I'll do. I'll add an extra 3/4 to that and try it. And have a look at this awareness. So this is the front board, here is the side board, right? So if that went in second, when I take the wall off to load it, I can't get the foam out because it's locked in behind here. So I think this side foam has to be wide enough to go all the way to the end shorten the front foam so I can slide it out, leave this foam intact. Yeah, all right, lots of good insights. So I gotta make sure I make this one long enough, goes all the way. So today is the day after yesterday, so it is Monday, May 12th? I don't know, whatever's after Mother's Day. So we got this, we did the front one, and now we put the back one on after much struggling today. So this is the sheet that goes on the back wall. I extended the top. See, there's no top. This has a top, and that's because we're going to put the foam cover on here. And after further review, I think I'm going to extend the bottom. That was 3/4 of an inch. I think I'm going to make that a full inch, because it's not an even cut underneath. Take a look over here. See just how the floor goes and everything else. So I think I could use a little bit more room underneath. And now we have to do the sides. Okay, see I had to put these cleats on because that's a 3/4 inch thick board, and that's a 1.5 inch 2x4. All right, so the side ones I used 3 inches, so it's a little bit more than 1 inch on the bottom and 1 inch on the top. So this was our first one that we did on the front wall. It went like this. It was only 3/4 of an inch on the bottom, so now we're going to rework this to be a wider flange because that's what we need. So we redid this one on the front, which was the first one we did, to give it a longer lip on the bottom and a lip on the top, so the lid can have some kind of like a airlock there or whatever. So I have more foam in those sheets, so if I cut it 4x8, I cut it, rip it, so I got 2x8. I'll get a piece for here. The other one can go for these two sides, and then we have to work on the top. But take a look at what happens with the top. So this would be the top, right? I just set this on top here like this. But the question is, when I get a full piece, that is going to be in the way from, like, I have to like slide it underneath, but with a full piece, I got the same issue on the back side. So this might have to be a split top. I guess I could. Okay, so the foam lining. So because of interference for these things, the back foam can't slide down full piece. So the full piece, because of this, you can put it at an angle, it doesn't work so well. So I think the back wall goes in, and then the foam insert goes in. Then the side wall goes in, the end wall, let's call it that. And then this foam goes in all the way up tight against there. And then we could put our pin in. And that holds it in place. And then this end wall, same thing, goes in. We pin it. And that's not the final solution, but it'll work. And then the front wall goes in, and then this is a split piece, because the same thing. So we have a piece on that side, and a piece on this side, a piece in the middle, and then we pin it. And that's in place. And then we're pretty good. So now I got to work on the top of this, top foam, and for the same reason, there's going to be interference. You can't get a full piece in here, so it's going to have to be like at least 2 or 3 overlapping pieces. We'll see. All right, here is the top. So the 3 section. So this slides all the way into there. Place. top is all set. And the reason these has boards on top is, number one, this was pieced together to give it strength, but I'm also thinking of putting like a piece of paneling on here, just laid on top, because I got some measurement equipment that needs to go on top in this area, like my controllers and things like that. So that's what that's going to be. And then I can just slide it and look inside. So take a look inside to try a run. Not today, but I'm going to get the equipment ready and we'll load it up and get the heater in here and do some recordings and see what we get. Sweet. All right.